Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. 1923 foreshadows a heartbreaking ending, but also sets up the Duttons' Yellowstone future. Includes spoilers for 1923 Season 2, Episode 3. After seeing 1923 Season 2, Episode 3, I have some thoughts on where the show might be heading, and it will likely be a bittersweet setup for Yellowstone. Taylor Sheridan has expanded his Yellowstone franchise with 2 prequel shows, and with the original series ending in late 2024, the events of these shows are more critical than ever. 1923 isn't just telling a Prohibition-era story for the sake of it. It's demonstrating a pivotal moment in the Dutton family's history that's leading to the ranch as we know it a century later. Brandon Sklenar and Julia Schleifer play Spencer and Alex Dutton in 1923's cast, and the 2 of them have spent the season so far on dangerous journeys to Montana. In Season 2, Episode 3, Spencer is seen traveling around Texas with his companion, Luca, who is killed at the end of the episode. Meanwhile, Alex passed through immigration at Ellis Island in New York City. She's experienced attacks from lions, sharks, and an elephant and seen human beings killed. Yet this was one of her most traumatic experiences so far, shaping her character's role. Spencer Dutton is returning to Montana after years away from his family, hoping to protect them from Donald Whitfield and Banner Creighton. On the family tree, he's the son of 1883's James Dutton and the brother of John Dutton I, who died in 1923's first season. Aside from Harrison Ford's Jacob Dutton, Spencer is the senior Dutton in the family's central bloodline, in a sense making him the heir if one were to view the family tree as a monarchy. He's also a bit tougher and more experienced than Jack, making him more similar to James and John I. 1923 Season 2, Episode 3's ending saw Spencer and Luca on a bootlegging mission from Galveston to Fort Worth, with their plan being to deliver an illegal alcohol shipment. Upon seeing a roadblock, Spencer advises Luca to turn back their truck, but Luca refuses. He states that even if his family has sent him on this mission to dispose of him, he will do it because one must do what they can for their family. Spencer decides to walk to a train station while Luca faces the roadblock alone, leading to him being gunned down. Like Luca, Spencer is doing what he has to do for his family, no matter the potential cost. Spencer Dutton is a fan favorite in the Yellowstone franchise, making it all the more upsetting that this scene might have been foreshadowing his impending doom. Spencer is returning to Montana to defend his family out of a sense of duty, when he truly wanted to live out his days with Alex. Like Luca, Spencer is doing what he has to do for his family, no matter the potential cost. Even though he won't be going into it alone, he's facing a metaphorical roadblock and shooting squad of his own. He's a soldier, dying in battle might be his fate. Spencer may ultimately be the hero of the Dutton family in 1923, but it doesn't mean he'll become the ranch's leader like Jacob or John Dutton I in Yellowstone. His fate may be to die fighting for his family, only to leave someone else behind to take care of it. Let's consider some candidates. Jacob and Cara Dutton have protected the ranch for years, but someone is likely to succeed them soon. Jack Dutton is the obvious candidate, having been present the entire time and learning from Jacob. However, Jack Dutton has shown faulty leadership skills at times, and Season 2, Episode 3, saw his wife Elizabeth planning to leave the ranch. Jack may depart for Montana to support his wife in Boston once the conflict ends unless he can get her to stick around. That leaves another interesting candidate to eventually take up leadership, Alex. She has no ranch experience, and she isn't a Dutton. But Taylor Sheridan has been setting up a fascinating narrative parallel that's worth exploring relating to 2 of the show's main women. Alex Dutton is a young woman of nobility from London who fell in love with Spencer and desired to live a more dangerous and ultimately fulfilling life. Unlike Elizabeth, who fears the ranch life and the risks she's experienced, every conflict Alex faces has only made her stronger. She's survived brutal animal attacks, and now she's survived the dehumanizing experience Ellis Island had to offer her. Yet, she's still moving forward with pride and determination, as she believes in herself and the choices she has made, accepting their consequences. We don't know a whole lot about Cara Dutton's story before 1923, but she was born in Ireland decades prior and immigrated to America, likely experiencing difficulties just like Alex. We now know Cara to be one of the fiercest women Taylor Sheridan has written, who's just as capable of leading the ranch as any other character we've met. Alex is carrying Spencer's child. Having Alex end up as the ranch's guardian and leader for a time would be shocking, as it's a complete subversion of the patriarchal structure John Dutton had always imagined in Yellowstone. She'd probably play a similar role to Cara, helping to nurture the ranch's inhabitants and protect them while the boys grow up to take over. Alex and Cara prove that one doesn't need to be born a Dutton to protect the ranch, just like Rip Wheeler in Yellowstone. Anyone can marry into the family and embody their ideals. The birth of John Dutton is still a question mark in 1923. John Dutton is the father of Kevin Costner's John Dutton IE, who would have been born sometime around this series. We still don't know who his parents would be, meaning it could either be Spencer and Alex or Jack and Elizabeth. Given that Alex is considering naming her son Spencer, it's possible that Jack and Elizabeth may end up inheriting the ranch, or perhaps Alex will lose her first child and conceive another with Spencer before 1923 ends. Taylor Sheridan's 1923 is more than just another prequel in the Yellowstone universe. It's a tragic yet powerful chapter that both foreshadows a heartbreaking ending and sets up the future of the Duttons. By blending historical realities with the rugged survivalist spirit of the family, 1923 lays the groundwork for the dynasty that John Dutton will one day inherit. But it also makes clear that the price of legacy is steep. The storytelling is filled with hints, not just of the losses that await, but of the resilience that will carry the Duttons forward. The seeds of tragedy. One of the most powerful aspects of 1923 is how it makes clear that death and suffering are inevitable in the Duttons' story. From the first episode, Jacob Dutton, Harrison Ford, and Cara Dutton, Helen Mirren, are fighting an uphill battle to hold on to their land. The attacks from both economic hardship and external enemies, such as Banner Creedon and the encroaching influence of powerful businessmen, create a suffocating sense of doom. But the real heartbreak comes from within the family itself. Spencer Dutton, the adventurer-turned-warrior who has spent much of the series abroad, seems poised to return as a savior. However, tragedy seems to follow every Dutton who shoulders the burden of protecting the land. As his journey back to Montana is met with obstacles, including near-death experiences and separations from his love, Alexandra, it becomes clear that Spencer's fate may be more tragic than heroic. Sheridan expertly crafts his character as a man carrying the weight of his ancestors, but destined to suffer before he can make a difference. The ominous tone of 1923 echoes what fans already know from 1883. The Duttons' claim to Montana is paid for in blood. The original Duttons, James and Margaret, lost their lives trying to establish the family's foothold, and 1923 suggests that the next generation will fare no better. With Jacob aging and Spencer walking into uncertainty, the likelihood of devastating losses is high. The burden of legacy. While 1923 sets up an inevitable heartbreak, it also paves the way for the Yellowstone of the future. The show demonstrates that the survival of the ranch is not just about owning land, but about possessing an indomitable will. Cara Dutton embodies this the most. Her letters to Spencer are filled with desperation and love, and she stands as a pillar of strength as everything crumbles around her. It is easy to see echoes of Beth Dutton in her, and her sheer determination suggests that the Duttons who follow will be just as unyielding. Additionally, the show establishes that while the Duttons are constantly at war, whether with outside threats or their own personal demons, they have a unique ability to endure. Even when it seems impossible, they find a way to persist. That same theme runs through Yellowstone, where John Dutton is fighting a battle not unlike Jacob's, against developers, government forces, and the passage of time itself. Jack Dutton, young and full of fire, is another figure whose fate remains uncertain. His love story with Elizabeth Strafford carries all the hallmarks of youthful optimism, but given Sheridan's love of tragedy, it's unlikely they will get a happy ending. Their romance may be another reminder that personal happiness often comes second to the greater fight for survival, much like what happens in Yellowstone with Case and Monica's struggles. The cycle continues. One of 1923's most striking thematic elements is how it mirrors the struggles of Yellowstone. John Dutton III is dealing with the modern incarnation of the same battles his ancestors fought, protecting land from those who see it only as a commodity. The struggles in 1923 feel like echoes of what will one day shape John's philosophy. He fights because his great-grandfather fought. He refuses to sell the land because every generation before him paid in blood to keep it.